it's nonstop. I gotta find any time to just chill, because
Okay.
it's all day, every day type of thing.
Yeah,
From
it's kind of like you had a baby. You feel me? Like the cane is your baby right now. Because with me, with a kid, man, that's the same thing. Whenever I could try to do something for myself or get a quick nap or something like that, I'm gonna go ahead and take it. Even though where I'm like, nah, I could probably do this or that and the other. Sometimes, majority of the time, I just be like, man, let me take a little nap. But for you, let me write some columns. Let me do this. Let me do that.
yeah,
Hey, I mean,
yes, it's a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot of stuff going on. Writing, editing, going to press conferences, filming. I've been editing videos lately too. I don't know if you've been seeing that, but I've been
I
doing
didn't
that.
know if it was you that was editing. I thought it was probably one of the twins that was editing or
I've been doing
whatnot.
some editing on the site, just doing the highlights of players out there, high school games. Like I did a
Okay.
highlight of the quarterback that committed for 25. It's just, it's
Hmm.
just a simple little just all his throws and stuff. But people seem to like it, so I'm gonna keep that going.
Yeah, what you mean? That's the same thing. Like when I was talking to Chris and started editing, our videos as well. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like one, I'm getting way better. You feel me? It's quicker to edit now, and also you feel me? It's just like I like doing that shit too. You feel me? So yeah, it is what it is, man. We're getting old, but we got to go ahead and follow through with the times. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah,
I
definitely,
don't
definitely,
want to be like my parents. How do you do this, son? How do you feel me? And
definitely.
majority of the time it'd be a cell phone too. But yeah,
Yeah, man. What's been going on with you though?
chilling, man, chilling. I'm gonna be back in the schools. School started, so I'm back to having the health fairs, coordinating that with the public schools, teaching them life skills, teaching them about drugs and this, that, and the other. But I mean, I'm ready to be out the crib because I kind of been kind of vibed out since like January, March, like April, like April 20th. That was the last time I really kind of really worked. Of course, I got paid. That's the benefit of having an education. You able to kind of when it's downtime, really get to vibe and chill. You feel me? Unfortunately for you, you have no downtime, but yeah, nigga been
My
kind of
downtime is like the off season. Well, now that I went through like a whole year, I realize what times are actually downtime. It's not really downtime, but it's not like right now. Like right now, it's like there's so much shit, and then once the games actually start, it's like there's so much stuff you could talk about, so much stuff you could write about, and
hmm
people want more and more and more,
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm waiting for too, man. I'm waiting for the regular season, and we could go ahead and you could go ahead and set it off now since we already kind of chimed in on it.
all right. It's the MarcWes Sports Podcast. I'm Marcus Benjamin, chilling with my guy, Wesley Pierre, Westradamus, and we give you that real sports talk from the crib, give you that South Florida perspective, man. And like I said, man, it's game week tomorrow. First game for the Miami Hurricanes. And they're going to play. I didn't even notice that was a UM shirt. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Okay. So yeah, they play Miami of Ohio. Most people didn't even know there was a Miami of Ohio until this game was on the schedule.
yep,
But
yep.
yeah, it is, and I've been doing my research on the team and even the school where it is. I know it's by Cincinnati. I know it's in Oxford, Ohio. The county is Miami, which is interesting.
Miami County.
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm right on that, but I believe that's what I saw because I see an actual city that said Miami. It was like a county. So
County.
yeah, man.
Ain't
Did
no
you see?
county like Dade County. Ain't no county. Ain't no city like the real Miami. So I know you about to say that. So ask me what you was gonna ask me.
It's funny. Like I just googled Miami University and comes up still. Because that's what the actual name is. It's Miami University. We're the University of Miami,
hmm
UM. But they are MU, Miami University. I was trying to make sure I was right on that as far as like the location. But did you see what the quarterback said this
Of
week?
course, I seen what his square ass said. We the real Miami, like,
Yeah,
and you know the funny thing is, like, that's when you know that you're young. I'm not gonna blame it on him being young because he just got caught up in the moment. I mean, the reporter kind of led him into saying that. I mean, what else you gonna say? You gonna say no? But like, you could have answered it way better than that. I mean, kind of, using Christian Wilkins as a reference. Same sport but professional. I mean, the reporters be asking him certain questions about his contract, and he never throw the Dolphins under the bus. He's like, we're going to keep it professional. I'm going to still be this guy that's for my team, for my players, for the organization. And that's exactly what this guy should have went ahead and done. It would have been like, he could have been like, let's wait and see until after the game and let you decide who's the real Miami. He said it like that, but for him to go ahead and say, we're the real Miami, I was like, is this guy? I already knew me and you was already talking shit about him before the last time we had the podcast when we was like, oh, that's Blaine Gabbard's little brother, because I don't even know his first name. I just know that's Blaine Gabbard's little brother, and for him to pretend like he got the swag that Miami provides, and there's countless 30 for 30s based on our swag and being the real Miami. It kind of made me I kind of liked it. You know why? Because we put ourselves in that motherfucking position where garbage ass teams like Miami of Ohio, Middle Tennessee get to talk shit about us. We did this. So what we need to do is put that motherfucker on the bulletin board, put it on Instagram and have it running all through training camp before the game. You know what I'm saying? And use that as ammunition, because everybody knows this is not what you want to go ahead and do. You're the one that's supposedly supposed to get hit. The quarterback is very vulnerable. And when you got people like Hurricane Bane, Hurricane just left Florida recently, when you got people like Hurricane Bane and the rest of the O-line, I'm using it as fuel to the fire. Now, what I want to ask you, how did the players react?
It's funny that you mentioned that because I was the only reporter. Well, at first, I was the only reporter to ask one of the players, Cam Kitchens. I figured out, let me ask him. He's the leader, one of the leaders on the team, because they didn't have Tyler Van Dyke at all this week because of the injury that he, allegedly has. So I asked him, I was like, Cam, basically, well, what you asked, do you use something like that as motivation? And what did he say? We don't need any more motivation. We're motivated enough, which is the perfect answer. It's the perfect answer. As a leader, you want to deflect. Of course, reporters like us, we're gonna throw the bait out there. We're gonna see if you're gonna say something that's gonna create headlines. But he obviously took the high road. But down deep, he's thinking about it, though. Down deep, the team is thinking about, like, oh, really? You really trying to flex on us? Like, this is the last time Miami, Ohio played the Miami Hurricanes was in 1987. Obviously, it was a dominant team. It's their second national championship. You want to guess what that score was?
Probably 50, like, I was gonna say like 60.
Yeah, it was 54-3. So I'm not saying it's gonna be anything like that, but it gives the current Miami Hurricanes some motivation to really put on an ass whooping like that. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Miami lately, Wes, more as anybody, as anybody, that the Hurricanes sometimes they play to the level of the competition. I don't need to bring up. I am going to bring it up. I'm going to bring up, games like Middle Tennessee, Central Michigan a couple years ago, Appalachian State, where they had to win by a field goal. This is that type of game, Wes. I just want to let you know, this is that type of game. Miami of Ohio knows how to stop the run. Miami's a new team. They got so many new players, new pieces. It's going to take a while for them to gel with each other. You know what I'm saying? Just even you and me, when we was doing this podcast at first, it took a while for us to kind of find our way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So game one, I think it's gonna take a while for them to really kind of trust each other as a team. So I think it's gonna be a close game by half. Don't be mad. Don't be throwing stuff. I know how you are, Wes. Don't be mad. Don't be mad if it's the first half and it's like 10-7, you know, something like that. But I do think in the second half they pull away because of the humidity. One, the crowd is going to be amped up because it's a
Mm-hmm.
night game. We usually show up for the night games because it's too
Mm-hmm.
hot during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's the game one. It's game one of the season. So I think it's going to be closer than the experts think. But Miami is favored by 17 points. I think they win by more, 12, 13, maybe 14, something like that.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes down. But from your perspective, I guess the fans' perspective, like what do you want to see? What do you want to know? And what do you expect?
I want to see if TVD is it injured first. That's first and foremost. Secondly, I want to go ahead and make sure that the O line do their job because the last few years our O line been shaky. Want to throw shit at the TV type shaky. So I basically want to see like the core, like the D line, the O line hold up. People talk about the Miami Hurricanes now, and they look like a professional team. They not as far as like how they actually be around each other. But as far as the girth, the size, the height to these individuals, they seem like people that's in the SEC. For supposedly, we look like we're supposed to be the best O line in the ACC. I don't know. I'm gonna wait and see. Of course, we got these rookies, Mike Goa. Everybody know Mike Noah. You feel me? Everybody know about him and his brother. As far as his brother being one of the leaders, if not the leader of the defense, if you're talking about Cam Kitchens, as far as being in the secondary, and then you have Francisco Magnoa in the middle linebacker role. For me, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at professionalism. I'm looking at are they able going to be able to line up correctly? Minor mistakes that didn't destroy the game that you could learn from. I don't want major mistakes and you got people wide open and we get Middle Tennessee again. We have the FIU situations again where you lose to teams like that.
Yeah.
But for me, I think that like you said, it's gonna be a close game in the beginning because of course, like you said, they need to find a way to gel with each other. Again, you playing in, training camp and throughout the off season, that's one thing. When you're playing against people that don't like you, that people that don't care if you're hurt or not, when you're playing against your teammates, you're not going to try to do anything to have a negative effect on them individually as far as getting injured, and that's going to have your team have a setback. Of course, we know we're still rebuilding right now. We're in a positive track from how we're looking right now, and we'll speak on certain people that committed recently. Again, a defensive tackle that we know we've been gooking on the defensive tackles. We get DNs, we get corners, we get safeties, but we don't get no defensive tackles. So for me to see somebody from Alabama actually come onto the field, I want to see if he's able to actually play. That was one of the things that I was going to ask you as well. He came on board and enrolled in the University of Miami like the last few days. Is he going to be able to play? Is he able to bring some type of expertise? Again, he came from Alabama, certain things like that. All these people that come from these different places, are they going to be able to put those different brains together to make sure it's one solid, cohesive unit? That's what I want to see. I don't care if we lose, if we win by 3 points, 4 points. I just don't want to lose. I do not want to go into Texas A&M talking about, oh, the Miami University of Miami still has a lot to work on, which we do know that, but I don't need the rest of the world to be saying that because we actually lost against a mediocre team. And that's not throwing shit on they name. It's just being real. We supposed to have these 5-star, 4-star players that's supposed to do what they supposed to do. From my understanding, all the people that wasn't dogs, that was puppies, they got out of the building, and we got real dogs here, and that's what I want to see. I want to see the dog mentality, and I want to see every aspect of the University of Miami to prepare themselves in a positive manner, because we got so many coaches that change, so many players that change, and I just want to see it gel, like you say.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I would suggest that you read a story on canescounty.com called I just talk about the coordinators. I forgot exactly how I titled it, but things to get excited about with the new coordinators, and it'll get you hyped up for the season, because statistically these guys put in the work, man. Like the OC, the last quarterback that he coached, threw for 4,000 yards and is competing for a starting job right now. They're saying that he might start for Arizona, and it's not going to be Kyler Murray. I mean, that's what I hear. And
Okay.
and then the receiver, Tank Dell, is balling like a dog for the Houston Texans, and he was dominant as well. So the fact that he developed those guys is definitely something to be excited about. And then on defense, I mean, the coordinator used to coach at Marshall, and he had like a top 10 defense at Marshall, with like no real guys, really just scheming stuff. And to be honest, when I looked at his resume, I feel like this is the best defense that he's ever coached, which
Mm.
which means that he should be more successful than he's already been in recent years. So I think those two hires are home run hires, and they're both guys from Louisiana, by the way.
Got that
And
little swing in their
yeah,
voice.
not only that, they got those ties in that area. There's always talent in that area as well. So they're going to continue to bring guys from Louisiana, Mississippi, that area, including guys like the running back AJ Allen, who's from Louisiana. He did play in Nebraska last season, but he's originally from Louisiana. And then one of the corners, Jadias Richard, also originally from Louisiana as well. He is competing. A lot of great. We've seen a lot of great things from that kid. He's a transfer from Vanderbilt, and he's still young. He's just a sophomore, so he's going to be here a while. Back to your question about the player from Alabama, Jamil Burrows. I think he's going to be a depth piece. He's a player there that is he's there for depth. He's not going to start over Leonard Taylor. He's not going to start over Branson Dean, who I heard's been dominating as well. He's just there to compete with guys like Ahmad Moten, who's a sophomore, and Jared Harrison Hunt is probably the next guy up when it comes to D tackles. So he may give him some competition, but I think he's not a guy that you are going to expect to make a bunch of plays. Remember last year we got a running back really late from UAB, Lucius Stanley,
Because
and
everybody was injured.
right, exactly. So you didn't really see a lot of that guy, but he was there because a lot of those running backs got injured, so he got some burn a little bit. So I think this is the same type of situation that you just add a depth piece just in case some of these guys go down. And to be honest, though, the defensive line is the deepest part of this team. You got so many guys that can play. You got Nigel Lee Kelly, you got Akeem Mesidor, you got Leonard Taylor, you got Branson Dean, and then you got Jafari Harvey, and then you got Reuben Bain, who is making a lot of noise as a freshman. Jaden Wayne, from what I hear, is going to get a lot of playing time as well. Anthony Campbell looked great in the scrimmage. And then you got Ahmad Moten, like I said, and Jared Harrison Hunt. And then you got veterans like Jake Lichtenstein and Thomas Gore, who probably won't play much, but they're there for depth as well. It's definitely the deepest part of this team. And I think that's what's really going to show up on Friday night too. That defensive line, they're going to put pressure on that boy, Brett Gabbert.
Yeah, hit him high and hit him low.
Yeah, they're gonna put a lot of pressure on him. The question is just really, can they stop the run? And Miami of Ohio is not really a great running team anyway. They lost their starting running back from last year, so it's kind of a new guy in the backfield. So I think it's going to be something that Miami can control as far as and putting them in third and long situations. Because if they are in third and long situations, I like Miami's chances big time, man. Because Nigel Kelly coming off that edge, or Ruben Payne coming off that edge, or even Leonard Taylor has been great at providing pressure even up the middle. I think that's where Miami certainly has the advantage.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I'm when that defensive tackle, the reason why he kind of shot out, blew out in my eyes was because he's tall and he's heavy. He's like 309 pounds. I'm like, everybody that we have that's on the D line, it's not 300 and some change. You feel what I'm saying? They like maybe 280, 275. They may have the muscle mass, but they don't got that heavyweight on them. And people be surprised how 20, 30 pounds can have make so much of an advantage, where people can't even move you around. He may not have that first step, but if we're trying to stop the run, which may not be a big factor, like you said, they don't run that much on the University of Ohio, Miami of Ohio. He probably can get some reps now. Me personally, I just want the starters to handle their business early, and everybody else that's still trying to find their way, throw them in, but the game is already done. We're just seeing real live action from the secondary, that the second and third string corners. And that's another thing I wanted to ask you. Like, you think it's going to be the brothers that start at corner, or are you going to have Porter on one side and the older brother on one side?
I think they're gonna start with Porter. Devontae Brown, you can go ahead and pencil him in as a starter. But I think they it's gonna be a trial. It's gonna be like, hey, if he gets burned out there, then hey, they're gonna look to the sideline. They're gonna look to Jadias Richard, like I said, the kid from Louisiana. They're gonna look at Damari Brown, who's like, this is obviously a kid I've covered in high school, covered his recruitment, and I thought he was better than Cormani McClain, as a cornerback. That Cormani McClain was supposed to be the 5-star, and he ended up going to Colorado. I thought that he was a better, just physically and ready to start in year one, more than him, and we're already seeing that right now with what we've seen in camp. So I'm really excited for Damari Brown. I think it's a possibility that it could definitely happen. That would be crazy to have two brothers. Just can you imagine just being a brother and being on the same field on a college level, playing with your brother? It's crazy. And we got 3 sets of brothers on this team, which is out of this world. And the Mao Noah brothers is definitely going to start, and the Washington brothers, they're freshmen, but I think down the line they could both be starters as well. So yeah, man, Damari Brown, Daryl Porter, Corey Couch is in the mix, along with Jaden Davis. Those are pretty much your corners. Like, Couch and Jaden Davis are likely going to be the nickel corners. And then you got Daryl Porter and Damari Brown likely. And Jadias Richard is a guy that they can essentially play anywhere. He's a really great depth piece. He's played safety at Vanderbilt, so he can even play safety if needed, as well as both corner spots and the nickel spot. But so yeah, the other key to this game and this whole season is, you remember what happened last year with these corners. Even though they're in the NFL right now and they're doing well in preseason right now, but we'll see how they do in games, because we all know that DJ Ivy is like a practice MVP, but in games we're like, what happened? So we'll see what he does in the NFL. I'm certainly happy for him making the 53-man roster for the Cincinnati Bengals. And so did Tyreek as well. And so did Lou Hedley, by the way.
Yeah, for the Saints.
Yeah, he made the roster for the Saints, which is great. So we got a couple of players. I haven't heard about Will Mallory, but I'm pretty sure he made it.
From what I understand, they were getting ready to cut him, but after they cut everybody, he made the roster, from my understanding. And
okay.
If I'm correct, that's what's up too. That's just one more representative of the U holding it down in the NFL now. Every time
Yeah,
y'all score, please throw up the U. Please throw up the U.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, back to what I was saying, like you got to be able to stop these big plays. Have to be able to stop these big plays, especially against teams like Miami of Ohio. The only reason why Middle Tennessee won that game last year is because they hit like 4 or 5 big plays. One of them was 99 yards. Like if if I'm Miami of Ohio, I said this on another pod. Like if I'm Miami of Ohio, then I'm gonna try to test these corners because that's
Yeah,
probably the only way I really, really have a chance to win. Because if I'm able to hit a couple of passes downfield, then that's gonna open up the running game because you're gonna be worried about the pass. You back up a little bit, then we start hitting passes underneath. But if you shut that down early, this game is over. So I really want this team to show that, hey, nah, you're not gonna go deep on us. We're gonna be on you like white on rice, and
hmm
you're gonna struggle to move the ball. So I think that's a big key for this game, and all eyes are gonna be on Darryl Porter if he can maintain that starting spot, which I assume he's gonna be a starter. Who knows? We'll see tomorrow. But yeah, you froze up over there. Oh, you back on now.
yeah, yeah. I don't know what happened. I'm looking at it, and the ball is just fluctuating right now. Of course, it's gonna happen right now. Every time it's
No, it's all good. It's all good. But I'm really excited for the Miami Hurricanes season. I just kind of broke down the whole season just now in a story, and I broke down the 5 games that are the most important. And from number 5 down, number 5 is North Carolina. I mean, North Carolina has had Miami's number for the past 4 games, and some of them,
Mhm.
and one of them was a blowout. The other ones were like 3-point wins. So North Carolina is a huge game. You want to play well against a player like Drake May, who's projected to be one of the maybe the second quarterback taken in the league next season. Then
Okay.
it's Texas. Then it's Texas A&M. Texas A&M. We get them at home this time, and that's critical not only just from a morale or a confidence perspective, but for recruiting. These recruits, they want to see a team that's winning early, and that's your first tough game, second game of the season. You lose that game, and people and recruits will think, okay, well, this is the same old Miami. They're not back yet, and maybe I should go to a team that is more on a winning trajectory. So it's crucial that they win the game. Yeah, I'm gonna say win the game, not even be close. I think they need to win the game because last year they lost in College Station, hostile environment. This time you're at home. It's going to be a hostile environment. As long as they, of course, win this game against Miami of Ohio. So you kind of want to see them perform well, and then after that, it's Clemson. Clemson at home. Like you got embarrassed again last year, 40-10. You This one is like not a must win for me. Like if they can just be competitive against Clemson, but you at home again, that crowd is going to be raucous no matter what because it's Clemson. Everybody knows this team. This team has won 2 national championships in the past 10 years, so you definitely want to show out in a game like that. And then it's Florida State. Florida State, for obvious reasons, they're ranked in the top 10 this year. Got 10 wins last year. Embarrassed us last year, 45-3. And then this one's in Tallahassee too, so it's gonna be a tough environment as always. But and then that's another recruiting, a key game for recruiting. You know what I'm saying? Because we're always battling for recruits with Florida State mainly, not even Florida. But like most of our recruits, Florida State wants our recruits, or we're battling FSU for a lot of top prospects. And then the number one is to me is Miami of Ohio. The most important game is the next game. You know what I'm saying? The next game is the most important, and they gotta beat Miami of Ohio. So those are my top five most important games of the season. Check that out on kingscounty.com.
Definitely, definitely. I agree with everything that you just said. Of course, we hate FSU. That's a must. I'm starting to hate Clemson because they won 2 championships, but we normally don't. We ain't seen them that much all these years. Like it's just more recently we just started feeling the championship caliber of a team that they've been these last maybe 10 years because I remember years there was trash. So if we could go ahead and turn it around how Clemson did it, won 2 championships, I'm fine with 1 championship. I don't really mind. But yeah, man, destroy Texas A&M because last year, like we had every opportunity to actually win that damn game, and we found every opportunity to lose the damn game. It's like, which one of us want to lose today? Like, and it's really those are the real major games for me: FSU and Texas A&M. Of course, you have North Carolina. But if we lose to a quarterback that's a Heisman candidate, I don't really think that's going to be too negative on us. And if we lose to Clemson, a team like you said, won 2 championships in the last 10 years, it won't be so bad as long as if it's close. If it's close, then I don't think it'll be a negative or a positive in our direction. Whoever wanted to come to Miami, I don't think those games will change their mind, only if it's a massacre like it was last year. But besides that, man, I just want to see us moving in the right direction. We thought we was moving in the right direction with what's his name, the coach that retired, helped build the facility, and
Mark Richt.
Since Mark Richt, I just wanna be one of those teams that's in the conversation again. I'm tired of people just talking trash about us. And look, you got the quarterback already running his twat right now, and it's the first game. You should know better, but I see you holding the laughing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's all I want to see, man. What time does the game start? I know it's a Friday game, so they're not starting at noon. 7?
Yes, it's at 7. Yeah.
Perfect. Akil should be ready to go to sleep. And I shouldn't have no problems. A Friday game, dog, if they win, I'm going to enjoy my Saturday. And, of course, I'm going to enjoy my Sunday. I'm happy that this hurricane didn't cause a problem to the actual schedule and make us have to postpone a game. I think that happened to us once or twice in the last few years. We should just go ahead and be motivated. Again, like the player said, we are already motivated. If you watch Kings County and every other podcasts like the MarcWes Sports Podcast, you're going to have people like us because we're fans, of course. Look, Marcus, he's a reporter, but he truly inside, he's a fan. I'm a fan through and through, and we just want to see our city just do good. So, let's see what happens.
Let's see. So I'm gonna turn this next thing over to you because it's me when it comes to the Hurricanes, obviously, but I go to you for my Dolphins and my Heat stuff too lately. So what's going on with I didn't see the last preseason game at all, by the way. I didn't see it at all. I was at high school game all day Saturday. The Chaminade game, the 2 games was on ESPN. Chaminade, they played St. Francis, and then St. Thomas, they played St. John Bosco. So I was at those games all day. Then I had to, of course, report afterwards. So I didn't see anything at all from that last preseason game. And the only other news that I know about the Dolphins is that they dropped the charge for Tyreek.
Yes.
Yeah. So he didn't really get any
consequences.
Yeah, from the NFL. Then we talked about Tua and the whole thing.
No, I don't think we talked about it. No, we actually did it. We'll talk about it now, though. We spoke about it group chat, but we kind of didn't really chime in too much because we wanted to save it for the podcast. And here we go. First and foremost, the 53-man cut roster. They cut a lot of players. Chosen, you remember we spoke on Chosen? I told you he was doing good in training camp. They got rid of him.
What?
I don't know why. Yeah, they got
rid of
Chosen. Yeah, man. I guess he wasn't chosen, but I'm
Hell
not trying to
no.
make fun of him and whatnot because I really seen he was dominating in practices and whatnot. But again, you got to understand the Dolphins got so much money invested in players already. He's a
That's
veteran. He's going to demand certain money, especially if he does good. You know, he's gonna be like,
that's
yeah, I want like 4 million, I want three
That's a
million.
shocker for me. I feel like you got more people that got cut. That's gonna shock me because I don't have no idea. I don't know who got cut at all.
Agude from the
Mitchell
U.
Agude. Mitchell Agude got cut. Damn.
Yeah, he got cut.
That's
You feel
that's
me?
not that's not too much of a surprise.
Yeah, because
What about the running backs?
running backs, they got rid of Miles Gaskin.
Oh damn! I always liked Miles Gaskin, man.
Yeah, but
So
hey,
they
it is
kept
what
so
it
they
is.
kept Ahmed
They
over
kept
Gaskin.
Ahmed. They kept
They kept
Ahmed,
Ahmed over
Archain,
Gaskin. Interesting.
Moster. Moster's the number one running back on the
Yeah,
squad.
you already know they paid him and they paid Wilson.
Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, they is it Jeff? I
Yeah,
think it's
Jeff Wilson and Mostert, they paid both of them.
yeah.
And Jeff Wilson, they put him on injury reserve, I think yesterday or this morning. I'm not
What the
sure.
hell? So so A Chain hurt. I know he's still hurt, right?
Etienne is he's fine now. From my understanding, he's fine. I mean, I'm kind of mad that he had got injured in that play anyway. He was balling that guy, holding him up, holding him up, holding him up, and then slam him on the ground like, yo, the play is over. What the fuck you doing? Hey, I know it's preseason, but like this is the type of shit that your ass get penalized for. You know, I mean, this is like the play's over, but hey, it is what it is.
So
He's back.
Barrios. What about Barrios? Barrios still on the team?
Barrios is on the team. We knew he was gonna be on the team.
Okay.
Izakama's on the team.
Oh, I did hear that we let go of Iggy.
Yeah, we traded his bitch ass. You feel me? Yeah, you feel me?
We finally
Finally,
got rid of Iggy. What the
we
hell?
traded him with the, we traded them with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I saw it was for some player that I haven't heard of. But finally to get rid of him, like finally, one of the worst picks ever, I think, for the Dolphins. The fact that he was a first round pick. I feel like he made one play the entire time, and that was last year against Pittsburgh. That was like his only play that he ever made. And I think that's because one of our guys got injured. I think X might have been injured that game, or someone else got injured or something that game. So, oh damn, what's talking about the power went out. So it looks like I'm about to do this thing solo, man. I wanted to learn more about the Dolphins, but yeah, that draft. I think we really need to revisit that whole draft for the Miami Dolphins, because the fact that I know Iggy was a miss, Austin Rivers, I think, was that same draft, is pretty much a miss. Chris Greer, he just doesn't hit on first round picks for the most part, except for Tua. Tua is like the only one that hopefully is not a bust, which I'm kind of like, this is kind of like the season to really show if he's not. I was just saying, I just kept it going, kept talking about Iggy and how that draft was like one of the worst for Miami. I'm trying to pull it up of which draft that was, but I feel like every player that he picked in that draft was trash or was a bust.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like Austin, he was an offensive lineman.
Austin Jackson.
Austin Jackson, he's trash.
He's
Someone else in that draft where I was just like, oh, why the hell did we go with that guy? But
yeah.
let's talk about that Tua thing, man. Like, Tua Tagovailoa responded to some comments from Ryan Clark, who ESPN talking head, former Pittsburgh Steelers safety.
Mm-hmm.
basically called him out of shape, you know what I'm saying, and said he was thick like one of them chicks at Onyx strip club, which was funny as hell when I seen and heard it. I was like, yo, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely, man. Of course, the power went out completely. I'm looking at the neighbors, their power's out, everybody walked outside, and yeah, but I'm back. Yeah, it just came back on. I'm actually on my phone right now till everything kind of reboots and everything because it was off for like maybe like a minute or two. But yeah, back to Tua, back to roster cuts and everything like that. Well, I'll go ahead and chime in back on Tua since you asked me that question, and I'll go ahead and finish what I was saying earlier. Yeah, man, Ryan Clark. I had a lot of respect for Ryan Clark. I still kind of do have respect for Ryan Clark for the most part because majority of the players that retired and actually became analysts or reporters, they don't do that great. I don't like Keyshawn Johnson. I don't like certain people that actually become podcasters. I love Michael Irvin, but too much of Michael Irvin, it may turn me away, and that's going to discuss on another thing, But I think that Ryan Clark tried to be a little bit too much like Channing Crowder. You know what I'm saying? Like Channing Crowder say the outlandish things. You remember when he said that what's his name? Russell Wilson was a square and certain things like that. And from then, he propelled. He always say crazy shit. You feel me? But once he said that, his credibility, a lot of people start talking about him a lot more, and I guess he's like, I'm gonna keep running with it, But again, Channing Crowder was doing it naturally. That's just him as a person. I listen to him on 560 all the time, and he's just that character, And I think that Ryan Clark just wanted to be funny when he said that shit. But you got to understand, I love to follow through and to follow back with Tua. I'm tired of this bullshit, basically. And, for my culture, we could get a little scrappy too now. I think Ryan Clark will still probably win that fight unless Judo Tua comes out and do a little wax on and wax off with your face. But Ryan Clark was a safety. He's the one that gives the hits to the majority of the players. He hasn't been that long retired from the NFL. But if we're talking about a fighting thing, I give it to Ryan Clark. But if we're talking about a respect thing, I give it to Tua because he handled that classy. We're still kind of, letting him know, like, we could be on one too. Right after that, you hear Ryan Clark. He apologized. Yeah, he did apologize, and they kept it moving. He knew that he was out of pocket saying that shit. But my whole thing is, I just don't like everybody just keep coming after Tua. It's like, why would you not like Tua? Tua's the guy that always is professional. He has a wife, kid. He handled it the right way. He had certain flaws. People say he had a noodle arm, can't throw deep. He bulks up. People saying that he's injury prone. He's doing things so he won't get injured. First it was the hip. Me and you, the first game went his first play in the NFL. We was like, let's just see him take a hit. And he took a hit, got right back up, and unfortunately is a complete different injury that got him where he is right now. But this is a guy that's working on that shit. If somebody tell me like, Wes, man, you need to do a little better in this department. I know you A1 in this, that, and the other, but right here you need to focus on that. And for him to take that constructive criticism and use it to benefit him, like, yo, I just don't understand why so many people take shots at him. You want to take shots at Russell Wilson? Understandable. Him and his wife be doing too much. You feel me? They be doing too much. They being extra. Tua is the private guy. Tua is the boy wonder. He's Tom Brady without all of the records and shit. Tom Brady know how to speak. Tua knows how to speak. Certain people just know how to be that individual that individuals want to like. And I think that for me, that made me lose a little respect from him. It's like, why are you going after Tua? Did you not know that he had how many concussions? 3, maybe 4? Like, why wouldn't you be like, damn, I'm proud of Tua for taking judo. You feel me? If it was somebody else, like, come on. I mean, you have people like Jamarcus Russell. Oh, he's supposed to get better in the lab in the quarterback room. People, your coach sends you a tape. You say that you actually went through it and you didn't even watch it. Why? Because the coach gave you a blank tape. Tua, on the other hand, is a guy that's gonna go ahead. You tell him to do something, he's gonna follow through. Why can't you not respect that, reporters? Like it just baffles me and it get me pissed off. Of course, I know people hate Miami because of the beaches, the women, and the weather. Unfortunately, our weather is not that great right now because of the hurricane. But
yeah,
come on, man, y'all gotta respect. Y'all gotta respect when people are doing things to benefit themselves. And Ryan Clark, you're a family man. You having these comments, what you think that's gonna do for Tua? Tua is in a contract year. Well, you think that's gonna put more food on his plate, or that's gonna be like, oh, let's just play this real quick. You know, even though the Dolphins know that he really was working out, and not even much as that. For the people in the offseason, the Dolphins, he's top 5 player on the Dolphins that gained muscle mass in the offseason. So like, why can you get mad? And not just that, but people like from them Samoan people, they're not skinny guys. All the Samoan people that I know, they swole or fat. It's not no in between. That's what I know. I got The Rock, you feel me, and all the other people from wrestling, you feel me? And then I got the Mount Noah brothers. Like,
exactly.
Yo.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is just keep your name out of keep Tua's name out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say to all these reporters out there. Just keep Tua's name out your mouth, just like he said.
But I think
the fact that he said that, you know, it just changed my whole perspective about Tua. I was like, oh shit,
yes,
Tua can be a gangster, you know, if he needs, you know what I'm saying? Because that's basically what he said. He's like, hey, we can get scrappy, you know what I'm saying? Scrappy if we need to, you know, because Tua is like you said, he's a wholesome guy, he's a family guy, he's the nice guy. I mean, always very respectful type of dude. And then, but he was like, hey, bro, if you want to get scrappy, we can get scrappy. Just like Mafia says in the song, if you hoes want to go there, we could get gangster.
Come on now. So that definitely was a good thing to hear from Tua. Of course, we do not condone violence, but again, the NFL is violent. So it is what it is in that part. But yeah, going back to what I was saying before the power went out. I mean, you got Myles Gaskins that got, booted from the club. I think we were talking about Iggy at that particular time. Yes, Iggy is gone. Iggy, he got traded for a second round pick that the Dallas Cowboys had drafted. Same thing, a corner, and they didn't pan out for him as well. The only difference is you have one that's been a corner and you have one that we've been trying to teach him to become a corner. Now, one may eventually pan out. That's the guy that we got from Dallas. But Iggy, like traditionally, you was a wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like Tannehill. Like, I've been using the same shit. You can't tell me that this guy's been a wide receiver his whole damn life, and then now you're trying to make him a quarterback, and he's going to be like the Tom Brady's people that have been doing this their whole career. It's not going to happen. You may be able to throw the ball. Yeah, you got talent. Like, talent is talent. But when it comes to that pocket presence, knowing when somebody coming for you without you seeing it, that's something that you probably gonna have to gain throughout the years. From Pop Warner to being collegiate athlete and now in the NFL. But I think Chris Greer kind of saved himself a little bit in that regard because Iggy was a bust. We paid him all this money, and they basically got the money that he was supposed to get, huh?
I don't think he really saved himself because the fact that you have to cut a player that was a first round pick.
He didn't get cut. He got traded.
Well, he got traded to, a player that, that was a first round pick. By the way, I pulled it up. So Tua was drafted in this draft, by the way. Then Jackson, then Noah Iguodala. We had 3 first round picks this year in 2020. Then we have Robert Hunt, who's a baller, by the way. He's one of the best offensive linemen on the team, so I give him props to that one. Raekwon Davis, is he still on the team?
Yes, yes, he's our defensive tackle that kind of he's a run blocker. He's a run stopper. He's our Daryl Gardner.
Okay. And then we have Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones still on the Dolphins?
The safety?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you remember he's coming back from ACL tear or knee or some type of knee injury.
So
But
still, the jury's still out on Brandon Jones still. But the rest of these players, I have no idea who these are. Solomon Kindley, a guard. Jason Strobridge, a DN. Curtis Weaver, a linebacker. Blake Ferguson, a long snapper. Like, why you draft a long snapper anyway? Like, why are you wasting a draft pick on a long snapper? And Malcolm Perry, wide receiver.
I think he got cut.
Yeah, so that you got Davis, Jones, Hunt, and Tua out of how many picks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not terrible, but definitely not good, especially when you have 3 first-round picks.
I don't think that he's a great evaluator when it comes to like drafting players, but I think he's great at trading because he make great trades. He just don't know how to pick them. But I mean, if you got people like Nick Fangio now, and you got people like McDaniel, they're telling him who they want, who fits their scheme. So I don't think you're gonna have too much of those wasted drafts. Of course, I mean this guy been with the Dolphins damn near like 15, 20 years, so you know that he knows how to finesse. He knows how to throw other people under the bus and keep his job. Now, when it came to our prior head coach, thought they would have probably got along. They didn't. And I don't know who to blame, because one person got a strong personality and the other guys, like all these people that I drafted because this guy wanted these players. So I don't know who to believe right now. It's still out. If he got Tua right, it don't matter. He's staying. He's staying as a general manager. As long as you get the quarterback right, majority of the time, you're good. Everybody else is like people that you could go always replace. I mean, Kristen Wilkins, I love you as a leader. I love your everything about you, your energy, your leadership, how you speak. But you're a dime a dozen. A lot of players that we can actually see and we love, dime a dozen, and look, those players that we call dime a dozens, they go to other places and wind up being superstars. So I don't know. As far as how I look at what's going on right now with the Dolphins, I still think that we still got to actually see it on the field because we top heavy. And when you're playing in preseason games, you're not going to put your eggs in one basket, all your eggs in one basket. And that's the starters. You got Teron Armstead. Everybody was shocked. We thinking that he's out. We like, fuck this guy, like, yo. And it happened that it wasn't a tear, no nothing. He just needs some time to just vibe out. I don't know if he's doing that on purpose because he didn't want to practice. He never does practice, but it was a good thing to see that it happened when it happened. It wasn't an injury, and the backup behind him held his own when Tua was on the field with him and he was guarding Tua's blind side. So even if we have someone go down on the O-line, I think we still can be a decent offense. And if they can hold shit down and we won't have Nick Needham didn't come back yet. He's I would say 80%. When he's like at least 95%, when you have Jalen Ramsey come back, maybe the third half of the season, then you can kind of gauge a lot more because, again, a lot of players, a lot of teams didn't play their most valuable players, and it's still kind of preseason game 1, game 2, and game 3. We won't really start getting a feel of our team until those 3 games. But it is what it is, man. I think we're still in a positive. We're in a positive, like the University of Miami. We had a lot of flaws last year, and we changed them. You know, we were saying this all last year. They're like the same damn team. You know, our kicker be garbage, the other kicker be garbage. Our quarterback be tripping, the other quarterback be tripping. Hopefully, University of Miami on Friday tomorrow hold it down and then motivate the damn Dolphins to do good too. You know, because right now I think that we're close to being there. We almost got shit derailed. I know you heard about the Jonathan Taylor, right? Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I wasn't really. I don't really want it to happen, to be honest. I don't think we need to pay so much for a running back. You know,
Exactly.
you got enough running backs. You got a young one who you don't even know how great he can be yet. You know, you drafted him high, which means you trust, you know, your judgment of what he can be. You know, see what he can do, because he's going to be for the cheap for the next couple of years.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
you already paid these other 2 running backs. Like, why do you need another running back? I just don't get it. You know, like you don't need another running back. Like, even with Dalvin Cook, like Dalvin Cook is great. Obviously, it'd be awesome to have Dalvin Cook on the team. He's a hometown kid, and just to kind of repair you going from Florida State and not going to Miami and coming to the Dolphins, it would have felt better. But like the fact that he went to the Jets, right?
Yeah, he went to the evildoers.
Yeah, so that definitely sucks. The fact that you went to the Jets, the worst team in sports, you know, but I just don't believe in paying big money for a running back. You pay big money for quarterback, O-line, D-line, DB. That's it. Everything else, you kind of want to like not pay for that much. You want to get linebackers for the cheap. You want to get running backs for the cheap. And of course, you know, special teams, you want those for the cheap. You know, you only pay big money for D-line, O-line, quarterback, and DB. You know,
What? Do you know why the deal didn't happen?
Why?
The motherfuckers wanted Waddle.
Oh, nah.
Yeah, I'm like, really? Like, you think we gonna trade one of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now, top 15, I would say? You gonna trade him away for a running back? Are you damn kidding me, man? You tripping?
Nah, you definitely can't do that. It's smart for them to try to get Waddle, because after the season, Waddle's gonna demand big money, right? And
franchise tag him.
We're in that situation. Yeah, maybe we could. But we're in that situation where, like, okay, do you pay him? Do you keep Tyreek Hill? Do you draft another wide receiver? Wide receivers, like, that's a tough position, because most people don't want to pay big money for a slot, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a slot owner because, one, his size, and 2, because Tyreek's on the outside. But people will say Tyreek is a slot receiver too, but we paid him that money, so I don't really think that's going to be too much of a factor. I think that he just, if I was the general manager next year, like you said, when he want to demand some money, I'm gonna franchise you, tag your ass. I got Tyreek Hill for that final season of his contract. You know, he said he's gonna retire right after his contract is done, and then I could go ahead and
We'll see. I don't really believe that.
I don't know. You know, he probably was trying to get some views on his podcast, but why do that? You're Tyreek Hill. You're the cheetah. You're not going to just go ahead and, like, people, you're not going to come out with bullshit like that just to get clickbait. So, like, people going to watch your podcast just because you got good guests, just because you're the cheetah, just because you're probably number 1, number 2 best receiver in the NFL. So, if that is the case, I'm just going on what he said. I'll franchise tag Waddle next year. And then next year will be the same year that is the Cheetah's final year of his contract. And after you're gone, I'll give Waddle the same, if not close to the money that I gave the Cheetah. And you cover it like that. I'm not sure when it comes to A-Chain, because you remember A-Chain, he's the running back, and Tyreek Hill, when he got out of the out of college, he was a actual running back as well. He wound up turning into a wide receiver. I don't know if they're going to try to mold A-Chain in that sense as well, because they built the same way. It's just Tyreek Hill just got a little bit more bulk to him because he's been in the NFL lab room pumping weights all these damn years. But we'll see. We'll see how they do it. For the most part, we're good. We're good. Tua is, of course, Tua, the arm of the almighty Tua, accurate, efficient, the most efficient, accurate quarterback in NCAA history. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get what you want, because the question isn't no more, can he throw the deep ball? Can he do this? Can he do that? We know that he could do it all. We know that every pass he can throw. The only thing is, can he stay healthy? And for me, I think he can stay healthy.
Yeah, hopefully that jujitsu helps out with that, man. Like, we'll see what happens, because I was holding my breath in a preseason game every time he like fell on the ground. That time that he threw the interception and tried to make the tackle, I was just like, you
I don't know my bad.
So,
I'm trying to get back on the other podcast from off of my phone. Hold on, let me get off of there.
But while you do that, I'm gonna talk about just what I've been wanting to talk about, and that's Inter Miami soccer, and Lionel Messi. What he's been doing is being crazy. It's crazy to kind of see. Everybody kind of knew, like, okay, well, MLS is the level of competition is not as great as like in Europe, but for him to like score in every game except for yesterday, they played last night, and was the first game he didn't even score in. First game they didn't win. It was a draw, but still, to win every game up until yesterday, to win the League's Cup, to have a chance to from last place to actually make the playoffs is something crazy. I mean, like, and to win the League's Cup the way they did on penalty kicks, and just the way that he's able to just transform that team into a contender, it's unbelievable. It's been amazing to watch. It's like a movie, to be honest. To watch someone, who basically retires from Europe to come to America. You think he's going to be maybe a shell of himself. He's not going to be, that guy that he was then or a few years ago. For him to be this guy, and just to transform this team that was in last place to one of the best teams in soccer, it's just been really amazing to watch. And all the stars have been coming out to the games. Last night, Mayweather was at the game. Ken Griffey Jr. was at the game last night, taking pictures and shit. Yeah, you seen it, you watching it. So yeah, and a bunch of other celebrities. I think LeBron was there, Tom Brady. It's Kim Kardashian, I feel like, was there one night too. So it's great to see this spectacle going on in basically the fifth sport in town. And I think it's jumping over hockey because there's so many soccer fans down here. It's probably going to jump over baseball too, because, the Marlins, although they were doing good this year, they're kind of like, probably won't make the wild card. We'll see. Maybe they make a run. But from what I've seen, it seems like they probably won't make the wild card again. And that's all we really care about. Like, if you're not making the playoffs here in Miami, it's like you're an afterthought, basically. So yeah, it's just been incredible to watch. Like, I haven't felt this. I mean, obviously I watch, the Hurricanes religiously, and I watch the Dolphins religiously. But everything else is kind of like whenever I can, except for when it was the big three with the Heat. I watched every game religiously.
Me too.
I watched every game religiously, bro. Like, I did not miss a game. But like now with Messi, like, I'm watching every game. I feel like I can't miss it because I might miss a moment. I might miss a great moment because there's been so many great moments. That pass against Cincinnati, that free kick against FC Dallas. that pass in that New York Red Bulls game, where he gave it to the player who's from Miami too, and got a great first name in Benjamin. Pass it to him, and he passed it back for the goal. That was unreal. So just to watch him, from a guy who watches soccer probably is like as his third favorite sport, it's just been amazing to watch. Shout out to Miami. Shout out to um the pinks, as we call them. I finally got used to it. At first I was just like, damn, why are they wearing these all pinks? But now I'm used to it. Now I'm used to like the all pink. I
Yeah,
still probably
yeah.
won't
I mean, I like
get an all pink jersey. you know I got a white one and I got a black one, but I don't think I'm gonna get an all pink one. I just can't. But like the ladies love it. Wifey loves the pinks. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely distinct to Miami. So I like that. It's basically like pink and black for some reason is like synonymous with Miami. I guess because sometimes the skyline looks pink down here, like when the sun's setting. Um, but yeah, man, it's just been a great thing to watch, and I just think they're just gonna get better and better, and it's gonna just build up more and more over time.
Yeah, man. I don't really watch soccer like that, but again, every time I wake up, I really haven't really watched the games like that. I think I watched one game a little bit. I think it was, I don't know, they played two championship games, and I seen one of them, and it was a good game. I didn't know that this guy was that good. I mean, he's the greatest player supposedly. People talk about Pele. They talk about
He's he's
um
he's up there with them. Like when you talk about the best soccer players of all time, you mentioned Pele, you mentioned Maradona, you mentioned Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. He's up there. Ronaldinho, I know you never heard of him. And then there's another Ronaldo, um, who played for Brazil as well. Those are kind of like the top players ever to play soccer. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's up there, and he can be considered the best out of all of them because he's won on every level. Because especially since this last World Cup,
I
he
wonder
finally
if
got that off his back. He finally got the World Cup. That was kind of holding him back, and then the year before that, he won the Copa America, which is the tournament for South America. He never won that. Finally won that too. So he's won on every level.
okay, I wonder if a lot of these players, NBA, NFL, if they would have chose to play soccer, if they would have had a great career as well, because these football players and basketball players, they're athletic. You know, we even be seeing people like Jimmy Butler and other players like playing
Yeah,
with like the basketball like it's soccer or some shit
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Ocho Cinco tried to play too. He was all right. You know.
So different sport, and of course these guys, Ronaldo, these guys from getting out of 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, they've been studying and playing soccer. So it's easy to just have a ball and do something. So I think they have an advantage. These players that come from these, I don't know, third world countries. Is Brazil considered a third world country? No.
I don't think so.
Well,
Yeah.
certain places in South America you can consider third world countries, and I think that the way we look at people, the way black people look at basketball and the NFL as a way out, I think that these,
Oh
Spanish
yeah.
people
Yeah.
look at soccer as a way to get out, and
Absolutely.
that determination propels them in this manner in every sport. Soccer for the individuals that play soccer, and football and basketball for majority of the time black people. These are, and also rapping, this is the outlet that we can go ahead and make some money to get our family out. But yeah, man, we're he been looking good. Messi is definitely making everybody look messy, scoring goals, great passes. um it kind of it's kind of like when you have people like the LeBron come on a team, and that team was mediocre, and now all of a sudden this team is championship contenders. They're
Yeah.
contending. They're beating the best teams, you know. And I think he's undefeated since coming here. Played 9 or 10 games and won all 9 or 10 games. So that's a plus. I don't really know about how y'all. Well, you guys here, you play. You into the soccer. How does it work? Because I'm like, damn, we just won 2 championships, and
they just won 1.
The barrel when it comes to MLB.
They won 1, and they're in another tournament, going to be in the final. The NBA is basically doing something that's similar to what soccer's doing this year. I don't know if you heard they're doing like an in-season tournament.
No.
So yeah, the NBA this year is doing an in-season tournament. Basically, you're going to play certain teams during the season, and it's going to be like a playoff, basically, in the middle of the season. So that's basically what soccer does, right? Because soccer, it's an exhausting sport, right? You don't want to play overtime all the time. So that's why during the course of a season, you'll just have draws and you just move on. You get 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and you just keep moving throughout the season, and the most points end up going to the playoffs in America. And that's how it works. And other sports, other leagues in soccer, like the point system that I just explained is the only way you win a championship. There is no playoffs, which I don't like. But that's why they have these in-season tournaments, because like, oh, let me have these in-season tournaments where we can have just, we can have that playoff, I guess, feeling. And that's what it is. So it's basically an in-season tournament. They won 1. They're in another where they're going to be in the final in a couple of weeks, so they can win the second in-season tournament. But the season is still going. Like the MLS season is still going, and right now they're still kind of like in last place. They may make the playoffs, who knows? But that's kind of how it works. I know that's confusing as fuck, but
it is confusing. But I'm trying to ask, like, how many games do they have like in the regular season? Do they have like baseball?
Nah, it's not. It's not that long. Nah.
Okay.
It's definitely not that long. Baseball, you have like 130 games, something like that. Something in that area. Soccer, I think you have maybe 30, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we probably can make the playoffs if they keep winning the rest of their games.
I think they got like 11 games left. They gotta pretty much win all of them. But they can have shit. They haven't lost a game yet.
I think that's gonna be the motherfucking story. Messi goes to the worst teams, wins them 2 championships, and then makes the playoffs. And if he wins the fucking MLB championship as well, if we do make playoffs, oh my damn! Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's
gonna be crazy. Yeah. I may go to the damn parade. Yeah, shit. Like, buy that pink jersey you ain't trying to wear. Hey, speaking of people wearing pink, I know you seen. Well, LeBron wasn't wearing pink, but LeBron was very promiscuous.
Oh yes. I mean, I see what you said. I thought it was fake at first. I really did. I thought it was fake because you know how people be manipulating videos, putting bodies and stuff like that. But when you look at it, I was like, nah, that shit is real.
You know what had me dying more? When Chris was like, he looks like Goldust from WWE. I started rolling. I looked at it again. I'm like, it looked like the same outfit without the damn face paint on LeBron. Yeah, LeBron. Like, you don't look like the king right there, my boy. You don't look like you don't. You feel me? The way you over here, like, boy, you flexible as hell. That's how them other guys looking at you right now because you cracked the door. You cracked the door. Nah, like, again, I do know that you have a wife, you have kids, but come on, LeBron. Like, ain't nobody, like, one thing I'll never do what LeBron did and to wear a dress. It's not happening. Why do I need to do that? Like, come on, man. for other individual, it may be funny. For me, like, it's not funny. It is what it is. The only time I gave a pass was Shanae. That was the only time I gave a pass.
Yeah, I mean, those are comedians. I think comedians and actors, like, I think it actually shows your versatility as an actor, comedian, when you're doing those type of roles. Jamie Foxx, did it. Wesley Snipes as well.
Fool. Oh my God.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? These guys are obviously not gay, but they, are able to do those type of roles. They try to do those type of roles so they can get bigger roles, down the line. Be like, hey, I dressed up as a woman and did a good job. Pay me more money to do this other role. So
we ain't doing it. We ain't doing it on the MarcWes Sport Podcast. I don't care how much money y'all giving us. But LeBron, boy, I know when your wife seen that, she was just like Will Smith and Jada when Will was getting a massage from a guy, and he was like, a man knows what a man wants. You feel me? And she was looking at him crazy, like, what's wrong with you? I know Savannah was looking at that damn video like, come on, LeBron. Like, you're a representation of me when you walk out the crib. You over here got me looking crazy. You feel me? But, hey, it is what it is. Hopefully, he didn't get sandwiched like Lil Baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
I seen another video where a guy was grabbing his butt. Like, damn, that's strike 3, Lil Baby. That's strike 3. Yeah. That is strike 3.
At first, I was trying to defend him, but now I can't.
It is what it is, man.
It's strike 3, like you said. It's like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Hey, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Shame on me. Yeah, boy. Yo, it is what it is. One positive thing, it's not the NBA, but it's basketball. Jaylen Brown. You didn't see what Jaylen Brown did?
Nah, what did he do? Well, I saw that he was in the Big 3.
Yes.
Ice Cube. Yeah.
Yes. That's like monumental. The NBA, I mean, they ain't really fucking with the Big 3. I mean, Ice Cube been on different platforms talking about how the NBA been hating. Jaylen Brown, I think he's the highest paid player in the NBA right now after he got his deal recently. For you to get that guy, I'm not saying that he's the best player in the NBA. He just getting paid the most.
The fact that he's getting paid the most is repulsive to me. Like, why are you getting paid the most? Jaylen Brown, you're not even the best player on your team.
I don't know, man. Hey, it is what it is. But yeah, man, for him to go ahead and do that shit, man, like, he probably gets slack from the NBA, but you can't get slack from the NBA because I got that guaranteed contract. I'll be like Stephen Marbury. Y'all don't want to pay me, I'll sit on the bench. It is what it is. I'm still getting paid. I don't care. You give me, I think he done got 300 to 400 mil. Like, yeah, I want to be a basketball player, but don't try me right now. Don't try me. It's guaranteed you could get rid of me and I still get paid. Don't try me right now. You feel me? Like, you better bow down to your boy right now. Treat me with respect. I treat you with respect. All this yelling at me, all this that and the other do sideways shit is not damn happening. But yeah, man, for him to go ahead and do that shit for Ice Cube, like, after the Big 3, when they was actually getting interviewed, he was standing next to Jaylen Brown, and like, he was like, man, I respect this guy, man. Like, I appreciate what he's doing for me right now. Again, you guys got to understand that's watching this show, like, they're really truly hating on Ice Cube to, make this a big thing. For me, I look at the Big 3 like NBA Jam. You know what I mean? Like I was back in the G, like, half court and, people just playing. And again, you got certain players that's in that league that look like they still can play, can still give you 15 minutes on a NBA team. Yeah. And the NBA seemed like, yeah, you want to get younger, but you see how it's going right now. You're paying John Morant, you're paying Zion, you're paying these young players, and these young players, I don't think is as mature to be handling that type of money. So, hey, I don't know. This can be a positive thing, whereas that's just one. That's Jaylen Brown. Then you're going to have somebody else. These Drew leagues, why go to the Drew League when we could do it in the Big 3, and actually get paid and actually, work like 1 day, 2 days out of the week, is only for the summer. Stay healthy. I'm pretty sure the NBA gonna do something or write some type of clause where if you're an NBA player, you can't play in the Big Three because if you get injured, that voids your contract or some shit like that. Because I don't think the NBA is thrilled, and Ice Cube already said that plenty of different times that they're not thrilled about the Big Three, and they actually do be hating. So I don't know what you think. You think it's a positive thing that he actually played for Ice Cube's Big Three league, or is just water under the bus,
I
under the
mean,
bridge?
I like it. I mean, it's cool. It's not a huge story for me, because I've never watched the Big Three, and it's not like I'm going to watch the Big Three because Jalen Brown's in it. You know what I'm saying? I guess that it's similar to like, WNBA news for me. Like, WNBA news is interesting. Okay, great. But is it going to cause me to watch it? Probably not.
I
You know what I'm
watched the
saying?
Big Three before WNBA.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I mean, with my schedule now, I can only squeeze out so much time to watch anything. But I'm not. I'm definitely not. I don't even know when it's on, what it comes on, what channel it's on. But
Yeah,
I'm not.
that's
I'm not
but
gonna
that's the
watch it.
reason though. That's the reason though, Marcus, because again, the NBA been hating so long. You're a reporter, you know when shit's playing. You feel me? But for this to actually be happening and you rarely know, they were just in Miami recently. I was thinking about going, but I didn't.
I didn't know that.
But But I'm just saying, if you really knew their schedule, if it were notifications will pop up on your phone like every other sport, you probably had time that day to watch a Big Three game. That's best to 50 points. That's probably gonna take maybe 45 minutes of your time. You know what I'm saying? But just the plain fact that you don't even know is like it's not. I'm not watching it because it's trash. Because again, they have former players as coaches and players. They got even men and women playing sometime as well. Breaking news, you feel me? Like, because these other sports don't have men and women playing like professionally like that. For that to be happening, I think it's a good thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. We'll see. We'll see if it takes off a little bit more. Maybe some other players join the league. I know Mario Chalmers was in it, and Michael Beasley, former Heat players, were in it. So or are in it right now. So I think I mean the Big Three to me is kind of like the MLS. Like it's like Major League Soccer. Like the great players once they retire, they're too old. They go to Big Three and try to make some noise, but. I
If
still
LeBron was playing, if LeBron were playing, you and everybody will be watching that Big Three. Every outlet, news outlet will be watching. I think it takes that type of player, a Steph Curry, a LeBron, a KD, Zion, certain players. If they actually played in it, I think it'll be a little bit more attention. And if it wound up being a positive game, imagine LeBron choosing his three players to play. Here's LeBron. Let's just say it was D Wade and Bosh. We got our own Big Three, and against Boston's Ray Allen, KG, and Paul Pierce. What?
yeah.
Oh my God! Imagine that.
Yeah,
And again,
that's something I would definitely watch because I used to do that in 2K with my boy. We used to do the 3-on-3 because you could do that in 2K, and we would do it like on like a playground court. You know what I'm saying? He picked three players and I picked three players. Yeah, that would be dope if that can happen in real life.
and remember, it doesn't matter. You're retired. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's a positive. But I think I know you've seen that guy in the USA sprinting, running,
Oh yeah. No
had his
no.
comments about the NBA and
Yeah, yeah.
champions and stuff like that.
I'm gonna let you speak on it first. What did you think first about Noah Lyles? I think is his name. Basically said that the NBA champion is not the world champion, because they don't play against the world.
At first I felt what he was saying, but then I was like, nobody asked you, like, why are you even comparing the two? And then you had Chris went ahead and chimed in and said a reporter actually asked him the question. Not comparing the sport, he just used that as a reference to compare. but they asked him some type of question where he used it as a reference. But I still don't feel him because again, the best players in the world are in the damn NBA. You got people like start from back in the G, Helu Turkoglu. You have what's his name from the Spurs, Ginobili, Tony Parker. You got Jovic. You got the MVP Joker. Like these are the greatest players, and I haven't mentioned anybody from the United States yet. Why if your basketball leagues in those countries were so great, why aren't they there playing basketball?
Yeah, I don't really think that's his point though. I hear you, but I totally agree with the dude Noah Lyles because I always thought that like because I'm more of like a logical thinker and I'm just like why are they calling them the world champ? I used to think that about baseball a lot. Like why are they calling this the World Series when a league in Japan is arguably as good or better than the MLB from what I hear. I mean, if you look at Japan's always like competing. Now they got a World Baseball Classic. They just played that last summer or last a few months ago. It was so the games were here. The games were here. The World Baseball Classic. So that is truly like the baseball championship. I believe Japan won. I believe. I'm not sure. I know America didn't win. Um, so yeah, that to me is the world champion. You know what I'm saying? That to me, because when you're playing against people from the world, you the world champion. I understand there's people that there's great players from different countries that play in every league. You know, people from the United States they go to some of them they go to different leagues in Europe, and soccer is very common. Like the English Premier League has players from all over the world that are playing in it. Brazilians, French people, Africans, you know, Japanese, like all kinds of players. It's not just English people that are in the English Premier League. And so it's the same. It's the same in every sport. The only sport where you could be like, okay, you're the world champions to me is American football because there's no real. There are some very small leagues around the world, but like I'm okay with the Kansas City Chiefs saying that they're the world champions. There's no doubt in my mind, you know, in that regard. But basketball, I mean, but even if somebody had an argument and said, okay, no, you can't call the Kansas City Chiefs the world champions, I would understand that. And I wouldn't argue with that point because it is a sport that's happening in America. You playing Kansas City is playing Philly. Two American cities are playing each other. You're the American champion. You're the national champion. You know, you're the whatever league champion. You're the NBA champion, the NFL champion. You know, I totally agree with what the dude said because I think another thing too is like it just shows the arrogance of Americans.
Yeah, Chris said that too.
Yep. Like Americans are just so arrogant. They're like, oh, we got the best players, which we do. Like I wouldn't argue this, you know. I wouldn't be like, oh, like when you go to the comments of these posts, people are like all up in arms and like, what do you mean? We got, just like you said, we got the best players, you know, and we got a bunch of international players that are playing here, which is all true. It's a valid argument. You can call yourself the world champions in basketball and in football. Baseball, I really think you can't. I think they need to stop calling it the World Series. Just stop doing that because it's just not true. There's a bunch of great players in Cuba, Dominican Republic, South America, Japan, you know, like like there's a bunch of international players in the MLB. I would say most of the best players are probably not American. You got some that are American, but yeah. So you could probably say that in hockey too, because the two best countries that play hockey are Canada and the United States. You got some players from Russia, some from Sweden, Finland, and whatnot, but the NHL is clearly the best league in the world. The NBA is clearly the best league in the world. The NFL clearly the best league in the world. But I understand his argument. I don't feel so strongly about it where I'd be like, oh, if you call them the world championships, I say, oh, that's stupid, that's dumb. Why are you saying that? And I'm gonna go into the comments and just go on a rant. Like, whatever. If you want to call them the world championships champions, fine. If you don't, that's fine too, because they're both valid arguments. But I'm more so on the side of the world champion is the one who won the World Cup. The world champion is the one who battled against the world. You know what they should do, because this is something that they do in soccer. They'll have the champion of a league, right, play another champion of another league, and they'll play each other, and that is like the real champion or whatnot.
Yeah.
So I mean, in Europe, you got what's called the Champions League, which is basically a bunch of champions from Europe, different leagues, and they play each other. And then the winner of that league will play the champion of this side of the world, like the Americas. They'll have their own Champions League on this side, and the winner of that they play uh, a match together, and then that is like the ultimate champion. And if you want to call if that happened somewhere else, I mean, of course, we would fucking smack the shit out of that team, whatever team that was.
Yep, yep.
Any NBA team, any NHL team, any NFL team will destroy that team. But until that happens, those other people have the right to argue back on and say, okay, you're not really the world champion.
Well, I agree with everything you're saying, but let's just say we win the USA basketball, like the Olympic basketball. If every time we win, then it's valid that we're the world champions, because when we play it on a global stand, we always win also. But if it's not that and we're mediocre, then
Yeah.
So
I mean, look at the. We'll see what happens with this, because right now they're doing the FIBA World Championship, which is basically the equivalent to the World Cup basketball. How many of our great players are in that? You see Steph in that game. You see KD in that game. LeBron is not in that game. Like, none of those players are in that game. But yet
they're like, we don't need to.
You got players like Anthony Edwards and Jalen Brunson are in
people
that.
That's on the bench. People that beat the your stars in the States, but for the most part, a lot of these players, like, you're not getting that playing time, and y'all still dominating. It's just clear cut with, like, we're better than you. Let's transition into the last topic real quick. I'm happy that we spoke on this young lady before, probably when she was going through a lot, lost her mom, lost the race, didn't handle the questioning from a reporter as well as I think she could have, but I felt her. Sha'Carri Richardson. Sha'Carri did her thing,
Yeah, she sure did.
She won, and I didn't even know that she was actually running until Christian sent us the video, and I'm like, oh, I seen it. One thing I didn't like was her start. I think that she needed to work on her start, because if she started off the way she ended, she would have blew them out the water way before. And Sha'Carri, I love the way she reacted to the reporters. She reacted like I would, because mental notes is everything. If you're a reporter that always talks shit about me, same thing to a mental note when it comes to that guy that called you a scripper, basically. I ain't gonna mention his name right now, Ryan Clark. Mental note when you want an interview, because I see myself as gonna be the next Tom Brady. You're never getting a question in. I'm never doing an interview. I do not like you. And that's exactly what Sha'Carri Richardson did. What she did do was, people that look like her, me, you, she gave them the interview. And every other person that didn't look like her, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you, and kept it moving. Why? mental note. I remember y'all forgot y'all was throwing me under the bus when I was dealing with my mom passing. Y'all was trying to say it was the marijuana. Y'all was trying to say, oh, it was because I like the same sex, because of my hair, because of my nails, because of certain things. Mental note, keep the same energy, and she did. And she handled the reporters perfectly, you know? And I'm kind of happy that it happened the way it did. I think she won 2 races, one individual and one team. And yeah, man, it felt good for us to actually win. Again, I don't follow these sports too much like that, but I'm gonna root for my home team. Again, if you're talking on a local base, Miami Heat, Dolphins, Canes, you see the hat with the Marlins, and nationally, it's the United States. Period. And even though I don't follow it like that, it was a great victory. It was a great everything was so good about it. Like you tell me what you felt.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a great comeback story for Sha'Carri Richardson, and because before this whole marijuana thing happened with her, it's like she was basically being crowned as the new Flojo, and then it just kind of stopped all of a sudden, you know, like, and then like the momentum that she was basically going into this prime stage of her career, and just people were starting to know her, and you know, she was gaining a lot of notoriety, followers or whatnot, and she was going into the Olympics, which is obviously the ultimate for that sport. And the fact that it kind of just stopped suddenly, and then you know, even when she was in races, when she was trying to come back, she wasn't good. She was losing races, and for her to be in the 8th lane of this race, which means she didn't really do well in her qualifying, because usually if you're that good, you're like in the middle, and so she barely made the final. So no one was really expecting her to even win. For her to just come back, like the race itself was kind of a metaphor of what kind of happened. Like everybody kind of doubted her, and weren't really kind of, um, you know, really had confidence that she was going to win a race, and then she just kind of starts out slow, like you said, and then out of nowhere, she comes out and wins this race. It was a really, I wish I would have saw it live, because I really would have felt the emotion like even more. But even the fact of seeing it on like as a recorded video was really powerful. And yeah, I agree with you. I love the fact that she kind of snubbed the media, even though, you know, I'm part of the media, but I would be one of the media that she would talk to if I was there. You know, but yeah, I mean, I don't think it was probably maybe necessarily the media's fault, you know, but you know, she has every right to do whatever she wants to do. But I just loved it 100%. And then the fact that she won the relays with the USA as well. It just seemed like it just put women's track back on the map, because it was kind of like down for a while. So yeah, I love the fact that she is 100% herself, you know, kind of unapologetically, you know, as far as like with the tattoos and the long nails, and just the way she speaks. Not to say that she doesn't speak well or anything like that, but she doesn't, she's not trying to put on for the cameras or anything. She's just 100% who she is, and I love that. I love that, because you know, a lot of people, I'll just put it at that, people will frown at stuff like that, and I love it. I just love the fact that she's back on the map, she's back putting USA track back on the map, and she looks great doing it too, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. In a lot of different ways, and the fact that she, in the one race, even though it was kind of like, okay, like she's trying to get attention to herself, was the one race where she had her wig on and she took the wig off. You know, that's a little too much. You know what I'm saying? You ain't have to do it like that. We know you are 100% black girl. You know what I'm saying? You ain't have to do it like that. But aside from that, I love everything like about Sha'Carri Richardson. I hope she keeps doing the thing.
Yeah, definitely. I know I said that was the last segment, but quick chime in on. Did you see what Coco Golf did recently?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I loved it too, man. Like because they be trying to hate on black women. I'm a real advocate for black women because I was raised by basically two black women. You know, my mom and my older sister, and I got nothing but sisters. I don't even have any brothers. So so seeing women in leadership positions is not uncommon to me at all. It's just for to see women really kind of getting their just due. I am definitely an advocate for that. So for her to really kind of stand her ground in that moment and say, hey, you letting this girl do whatever she wants and you're penalizing me is wrong. And she did it in a very professional way. She made her point. But she definitely did it in a way that it needed to be said in the moment. And Coco Golf, she's from the crib too. Like, I mean, I know it's like Palm Beach, but she's from down here, so I feel like she represents us in more ways than one. So I'm definitely rooting for her to be the next, Serena out there, since Serena is pretty much, done with her career. So I'm definitely rooting for her to continue to stand her ground because they will try to take advantage of black women in all kinds of ways. So happy to see
Definitely,
that.
definitely. The crazy thing is when I seen that shit, I was thinking about Serena. I remember seeing the movie, that Will Smith played her dad and stuff like that, and it seemed similar. Certain things that they were allowing to happen to Serena, and it took her dad to actually step in and take her from this place to that place. And when you took her to that place, you get the eyes, you get the cheating, you get and they don't expect you to call them out, especially not back then when Serena was actually starting her tennis career. But for us to be fast forward to now 2023 and see that it still happens. A lot of people that have that hate is still there, and it doesn't matter. They're very professional people that have hate in their heart. They have great jobs. They're in different avenues of sports, in politics, in everything, and they could use their platform or their stage or their career to kind of poo-poo on your success. And I'm happy that she called her out in front of the crowd. I love the play. Do they mic up the players so the
Nah,
crowd?
nah. The in tennis is kind of known to be quiet, like when the plays are going. So
Oh, so
the crowd just kind of knows to be quiet. And since it was quiet, she was the only one talking. Everybody kind of heard it.
perfect, because I was like, damn, I'm like, she wearing a mic. This is what they do.
Yeah.
And just the plain fact that she called her out. You're not supposed to sit, and oh, you're allowing her to do that. Let me eat my fruit. You want to complain to me about eating the fruit, but then you're not complaining about the person resting, kneeling down, like she's praying or something like that. Like, what are you doing? I'm gonna call your ass out. And then the funny thing is that player pretended she didn't know what she was doing after, and then she started crying. She said the crowd hates her, and we're saying this, that, and the other. Yeah, because everybody see your ass cheating. Point blank, period. They see you cheating, and they see the referee allowing it. I really don't blame that girl. You're gonna do whatever you need to do to psych out whoever you playing. But the referee on that stage, that's supposed to be the middle ground. That's supposed to be the judge at that particular time to penalize people, this, that, and the other. Like, and you're just allowing shit. The only thing that's making me feel like you're allowing it is because you guys look the same. It is what it is, and a lot of people felt the same way. Hopefully, that judge learns from that.
Hopefully
Because cheating judges eventually get fired or eventually retires, kind of like that referee that was in the NBA playing against the Heat. You know that he retired now, right? You know he retired. I don't know if it was a forceful retired, but you're retired now. This is what we don't want. When it's so blatant that everybody could come out with memes in the NBA or people could call you out like Coco just did, we're going to call you out and we're going to wean you out of the sport. It needs to be a sport where it's me against you or your team against mine, but it's fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get out of here, a couple more things I want to say as far as shows, man. Show you need to watch is Winning Time. The second season came out.
You know, I gotta watch it.
So you gotta start watching that again. It's still fire.
How many episodes are they in?
I think they're on 3 episodes so far. So you can catch up a little bit.
I'm gonna give it like another 3 more weeks. You know, I like the
And then another show is or a documentary is Bishop Sycamore. It's called BS High. It's the high school that was like a fake high school. That's the fake. Oh my god, dog! You have to watch this shit because this shit blows my mind. Like how this team was a fake high school that got on ESPN, played IMG. Yo, it's called BS High, which is hilarious because their initials are BS. Bishop Sycamore. Yeah, that and then we already talked about the Johnny Manziel. You got to watch that too.
Yeah, what I did actually watch was the Colin Kaepernick documentary, like a series thing. It was actually good.
Okay.
It was actually good.
Did it change your perspective on Colin Kaepernick? Because I know you always been like, oh, he don't do enough.
Nah, I still got my still share that same opinion, but I kind of feel his life. I feel his pain. I feel his struggle, what he been through, even when it came to his parents. Like, imagine you got adopted by white people, right? Cool, no problem. And you don't fit in with people that look like you, dress like you. You don't talk like them. Y'all don't chill in the same areas. You don't know nothing about that type of life. You live in basically Wisconsin. He lives in Wisconsin, and from my understanding, it had Confederate flags and all type of stuff for him to be living in that particular place at that time. And then when racist people are doing racist things to you, your parents aren't really addressing it. They're like brushing it off, or and it was getting me pissed off. I'm like, damn. I know y'all adopted him. Y'all got good intentions, this, that, and the other. And you seeing this shit happen in front of you and you ain't saying shit. That was really what was pissing me off the most. But for the most part, all in all, for his parents, I looked at him kind of naive or just green. Could be one or the other. And for him, it was just like hard to see everything that he was going through. But hey, it's what it is. That's another thing that you guys need to go. I don't know the name of it, but as soon as you put Colin Kaepernick, it's called Calling Something. Calling Something.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I'll definitely watch that. There was another show that I wanted you to check out, but I forgot which one it was. But I'll think about it next time. Last thing I did want to talk about is this University of Miami music playlist, bro. We got to talk about it because one, I just want to say it makes me feel old. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because some of these songs I
don't know.
I can't lie to you. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do know the Kodak songs. I do know the NBA songs. Those are kind of old,
Yeah.
I mean, Skrilla by Kodak is pretty much a classic song to this point. Like, that's a song like everybody knows, especially down here. It's like you play it, everybody's gonna be like rapping the whole verse, all the verses. Set It Off by Boozy. Interesting pick. I wouldn't have picked it, but it's interesting because he kind of an old head. It's kind of an old song. So Sophisticated. I always loved that song. So Sophisticated. It's always been one of my favorite Rick Ross songs.
Mm-hmm.
There's like one more song I pretty much kind of know. Oh, that King Von song, Crazy
Mm.
Story. I think is the only, and Gunna too. That you mean are kind of like the only other songs I really know.
I don't listen to rats.
You don't listen to Rats. I feel you. I feel you. You know, I feel you. But
but
yeah, all these other songs I didn't really know like that.
yeah, me neither.
Think
Me
about
neither.
it. Like this still tipping. I thought it was still tipping like that old uh
UGK.
not UGK. I think it's
Oh, Slim Thug.
I can't think of his name. Not Slim
Slim,
Thug either. Um damn, I can't think of his name. He sang
it's
that
from
song
Houston.
that back then they all on me. Now then they
Oh,
won't on me. He
Mike
sings
Jones. Mike
Mike
Jones.
Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones. So yeah, I thought it was the Mike Jones song still tipping, but it's somebody else that who I ain't even heard of. What you think about this list?
I think it's a good list. I mean, you setting it off with Boosie. And
Literally.
again, like you said, I'm old, so the only really few that I do recognize the artist, but I don't recognize the song. Again, Kodak, Versatile, Five. When it comes to Skrilla, like you said, Five. When it comes to Rick Ross featuring Meek Mill, Sophisticated, Five. Um, King Von, I don't really know I may have heard the song, but I ain't never really listened to King Von like that. Those guys from up north, I really wasn't really listening to them like that. I mean, when it comes to King Von, you had Coley for down here, a storyteller that raps, and I think Coley's better. You know, is what it is. All the other people, I'm not gonna actually speak on because I really don't know the song, so I'm not gonna be like I like it or I don't like it, and it may be a hard song. But I mean, typical Miami. We listen to everything. Of course, you're
Yeah.
gonna have Kodak Black. You're gonna have Rick Ross. I'm pretty sure if Trick Daddy wasn't making food right now and worried about Sundays and still dropping albums, I'm pretty sure he can actually still give us some fire shit because certain people they just have it in them. As far as with these young kids, I like the list. Set it off. We're gonna set it off on that team tomorrow.
Let's see. See what it's
Certain things like that. So I can't really say too much negative things or no negative things about it because again, a lot of them I don't even never heard,
yeah.
or may have heard and don't know the name of the song.
Or just don't
Again,
know the artist, you know?
yeah, exactly. So we'll see. The playlist won't mean shit if we don't win. So guys, hopefully you guys definitely dominate and y'all could go ahead and come out to set it off on they bitch ass and do y'all thing for real. Because Blaine Gabbert, there's a storm. You
Brett.
sound like a category 4.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on.
All right. We'll see. We'll see how it happens. All right.
So you got anything else?
That's
Nah.
me.
All right, so this is going to conclude this episode on the MarcWes Sports Podcast. Go ahead and follow canescounty.com, the MarcWes Sports Podcast. Both of them on all platforms. Marcus Benjamin, Benjamin.Rivals, Benjamin Rivals. Then you're going to also have the Benjamin Report.
Yeah.
Follow me, Westradamus, MarcWes Sports Podcast. And yeah, man, we're going to give it to you raw. To the next episode.
Look out for the Benjamin Report on YouTube right after the game. I'm just going to give you a straight reaction of how I feel, what happened. I'm going to do that for every game. I did it for the scrimmage. So if you see that, then it's going to be more of that this season.
Yeah. So until the next episode, peace. All right, kid.
Hey.